Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashoda Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodana Bolo Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Haribol. Kali Yuga Pavan Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagna ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatam ham vande Shri Gurun Dinatayanam. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter number 2, Remembrance of Lord Krishna, text number 5. Pulakodbhinna sarvango munchan miladrisha suchaha purnartho lakshitastena sneha prashara samplutaha Pulakodbhinna sarvango Munchad miladrisha shuchaha Purnartho lakshitastena Sneha prashara samplutaha Pulakodbhinna sarvango Munchad miladrisha shuchaha Purnartho lakshitastena Sneha prasara samplutaha. Please recite. Sneha Pulokodvinna sarvango Purnartho lakshitastena Sneha prashara samplutaha Pulokodvinna sarvango Munchadmiladrisha suchaha Purnartho lakshitastena Sneha prasharas Matajis Munchadmiladrisha suchaha Purnartho lakshitastena Sneha prasharasam plutaha Pulaka udbhinna bodily changes of transcendental ecstasy. Sarva angaha every part of the body. Munchan smearing. Milat opening. Drisha by the eyes. Suchaha tears of grief. Purna arthaha complete achievement. Lakshitaha thus observed. Tena by Vidura. Sneha prashara extensive love. Samplutaha thoroughly assimilated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. It was so observed by Vidura that Uddhava had all the transcendental bodily changes due to total ecstasy, and he was trying to wipe away tears of separation from his eyes. Thus, Vidura could understand that Uddhava had completely assimilated extensive love for the Lord. Purport by His Divine Grace. The symptoms of the highest order of devotional life were observed by Vidura, an experienced devotee of the Lord, and he confirmed Uddhava's perfectional stage of love of Godhead. Ecstatic bodily changes are manifested from the spiritual plane and are not artificial expressions developed by practice. There are three different stages of development in devotional service. The first stage is that of following the regulative principles prescribed in the codes of devotional service. The second stage is that of the assimilation and realization of the steady condition of devotional service. And at the last stage is that of ecstasy symptomized by transcendental bodily expression. The 9 different modes of devotional service, such as hearing, chanting, and remembering, are the beginning of the process. By regular hearing of the glories and pastimes of the Lord, the impurities in the student's heart begin to be washed off. The more one is cleansed of impurities, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. Gradually, the activities take the forms of steadiness, firm faith, taste, realization, and assimilation, one after another. These different stages of gradual development increase love of God to the highest stage. And in the highest stage, there are still more symptoms, such as affection, anger, and attachment, gradually rising in exceptional cases to the Mahabhava stage, which is generally not possible for the living entities. All these were manifested by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the personification of love of God. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Sri Rupa Goswami, the chief disciple of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these transcendental symptoms displayed by pure devotees like Uddhava are systematically described. We have written a summary study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu entitled The Nectar of Devotion, and one may consult this book for more detailed information on the science of devotional service. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथां वितां त्वं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखां वितांश्च। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस AC भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा। Seeking the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, devotees assembled here, so I can speak something on the topmost subject matter, the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So in this verse we see how Vidur Maharaj left the palace and how Uddhava was totally absorbed in the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. Similarly, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada left Radha Damodar Mandir, which was full of comfort, which was full of safety and love. He left India, just like Vidura left, and then on the way to the New York, he was also absorbed just like Vidur Maharaj. So this is from Srila Prabhupada's diary, 1966, New York. He writes, "Today is Gaur Purnima. Devotees at Vrindavan and Navadvip are enjoying the celebration, and I am here alone without any devotee companion. But I have come here to serve the Lord and not for personal happiness. I am prepared to live in the hell even if I am able to serve the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted that his mission should be propagated all over the world, and that is my objective. I do not mind the inconvenience personally felt." So Srila Prabhupada is also detached, just like Vidur Maharaj is detached, and he is also absorbed, just like Uddhava is absorbed in the deep loving separation of Lord Shri Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when the Srila Prabhupada's passport was like available to everyone, we have also seen the passport of Srila Prabhupada. So someone asked, "Dear Srila Prabhupada, you look very tensed, like you look very serious in this passport photo. So what was the reason behind it?" Then Srila Prabhupada replied, "I was not intense, I was not, kind of a serious thing. I was in deep ecstasy. Deep ecstasy because I was going with Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to the Western country to preach the message of Godhead. That's why Srila Prabhupada, going to New York, opened this school named as ISKCON, where we can learn how to love God and cry for God." So His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was explaining the meeting of Uddhav and Vidur Maharaj. They both met when they were in the greatest crisis of their life. They were totally in the, what we can say, like very sad mode, very painful situation that they were going on. And simultaneously, they both were also absorbed in the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So going back to the history, Vidur Maharaj was staying in the palace of Dhritarashtra. He was the minister, the advisor for Dhritarashtra. He was also the closest brother. Pandu had left, but Vidur Maharaj always stayed with the Dhritarashtra, giving him advice, giving him suggestions how he can improvise his kingdom. And just like a doctor gives medicine to the patient, saline injection lagate hain jaise, it sometimes hurts. So similarly, looking at the Kurukshetra war which will happen in the future. So Vidur Maharaj was convincing Dhritarashtra, please do not let this war happen, otherwise it will be a great loss. So just like a doctor gives a medicine, he was also preaching to the Dhritarashtra. Looking at this, Duryodhan became outraged. And then he became outraged and he spoke such ill words, such cruel words, he abused and insulted. Like in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3.1.15, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So here, in the second line, Dasya Sutam Yad Bali Naiva Pushtaha. Who called you over here? Duryodhan is saying to Vidur Maharaj, who called you over here? You are a Dasya Putram, a son of a kept maid servants. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, just like when a queen gets married, so along with the queen, a lot of the maid servants and all her friends, they go along with to her sasural. So when the king sometimes get intimated or get close to some of the other sakhis or the maid servants, then the Dasiputra happens. So although Dasiputra, he is given all the facilities, he is given all the rights, but he is not given the right to sit on the throne, to sit on the Simhasana. So then Duryodhan is abusing and insulting Vidur Maharaj, such a great devotee of Lord Krishna, in front of the assembly. So to hear an insult, it's painful. Sometimes devotees may insult us in front of everyone, it's painful. But to hear an insult from someone who is junior is heartbreaking. But to hear an insult about own mother from someone who is younger is like a poison. The person wants to commit suicide. And Duryodhan is abusing Vidur Maharaj by calling out his mother's name also. Dasiputra. You're a Dasiputra. Who called you over here? And then he says, इसको छोड़ दो यहाँ से, इसको खाली इसके प्राण बख्श दो, मतलब don't kill him, इसके खाली leave him alone with his breath only. So in that way, Vidur Maharaj, with great pain in the heart, he left over there. And it is said, the greatness of a person can be judged by the ability to tolerate the provoking situation. कि कितना ऐसा situation हो जाए कि insult हो जाए, abuse हो जाए, मार दे, उस सिचुएशन को जो व्यक्ति जितना कंट्रोल कर सकता है, टॉलरेट कर सकता है, दैट पर्सन इज दैट मच ग्रेट. एंड विदुर महाराज सेट्स एन ग्रेट एग्जाम्पल. So sometimes when we get small correction or chastisement, we become heartbroken and we start complaining to others. But here Vidur Maharaj is there, and then he takes it as the blessing of Lord Krishna. And then by the words, the next verse, 16, and by the next verse, in the next verse it is mentioned, translation. Thus being pierced by arrows through his ears and afflicted to the core of his heart, Vidura placed his bow on the door and quit his brother's palace. He was not sorry, for he considered the acts of the external energy to be supreme. So he accepted that this is the blessing of the Lord. There are internal and external energy. So this is what is happening, an external energy. And when Vidur Maharaj was leaving, so he kept his bow and arrow on the door like this, like leaning on the door, which indicates that I am not going to participate in this greatest war. And when he leaves, then he meets two great personalities. First, whom he meets? Uddhava. And second, Maitreya Muni. So His Grace Radhesham Prabhuji explains that one should be detached, just like Vidur Maharaj was detached. And one should be absorbed, just like Uddhava was absorbed in the pastime of Lord Krishna. So, Vidur Maharaj left like, when we travel sometimes from here to Mathura for Vrindavan Yatra or for Jagannath Puri. So then we travel in the train, we see a lot of inconveniences are there, but we make our arrangement. Takiya leke jate hain, chadar leke jate hain, mosquito repellents leke jate hain, and then something that we can, get good sleep. But we don't think, यहाँ पे मेरे को kitchen बनाना है, यहाँ पे bathroom बनाना है, because next day we have to get out of the train in that way. So Vidura teaches us that this material world is like that. It's not a place to stay or live. It's a place to quit. The next morning, 5 o'clock, when the train reaches to Mathura, we quit happily. We quit very happily that finally we have reached Mathura, Goloka Vrindavan Dham. But when we are in this body, we quit very sadly. Something has been like, if a mobile phone is also taken away, we feel very sad. So what to speak about the soul leaving the body? So then, this was very shocking for Vidur Maharaj, and then he left this palace. And then 3 lessons Vidur Maharaj teaches over here. The first lesson that he teaches, that the problems in our life are nothing but an opportunity to get closer to Krishna. All these problems are meant to get us closer to Krishna. So he saw this as a blessing. The second lesson that Vidur Maharaj teaches is, this material world is not a place to live, it's a place to quit. And the third thing is, converting misfortune into good fortune. So just like Vidur Maharaj, great misfortune happened, he could have fought, he could have gone to the side of the Pandavas, supported the Pandavas, been with Krishna and fought the battle. But he thought, let me leave this place and start my traveling Sankirtan party towards Haridwar and meet these great sages. And then he met Uddhava. So in that way he went out. And then when he left, what he did? Sadhu Sangha, the association of the great devotees. And he met Uddhava, who is the great, closest associate of Lord Krishna, who is the closest cousin brother and mantri to the Vrishnis in the Dwarka. So as soon as he met, he requested Uddhava, please tell me something about Lord Krishna, the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and about the Dwarka Vasis, because you have been living over there, you are a minister over there. So in that way, he requested Uddhava to tell about something about Lord Krishna. Jai. Shri Shri Radha Madhav Bhagavan ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Chandra Bhagavan ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Prabhu ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. So as soon as he requested Uddhava, please tell me about something about Lord Krishna. And when Uddhava heard Krishna, so immediately his mind flooded with the thoughts of Krishna, the pastimes, the leelas what Lord Krishna performed. And in that way, tears started coming out of his eyes. And then he lost control. And then he fainted. And after some time, he again got back to the consciousness. So Prabhupada mentions in the purport that that body, that Vidur Maharaj, Uddhava, he was like completely in trance. And the mind went to the Goloka Vrindavan. The consciousness was in Goloka Vrindavan, the body was still over here. And then he came back in that way. So that's why Prabhupada mentions the body is in material world and consciousness in spiritual world. And then when he comes back to the consciousness, Uddhava starts speaking with great ecstasy to Vidur Maharaj. What he says? He says, look at this personality, Krishna, Shri Krishna, look at this personality. He killed Kamsa. And he gave the throne to his father, who is Ugrasen Maharaj. So everybody wanted that Krishna should rule the Mathura kingdom. But he gave away to Ugrasen. And then Krishna was acting like a servant. He was giving the reports to Ugrasen that, this is what happened in the kingdom. This is what our wealth is there. This much books are being distributed in that way. Just like we give a report to Shri Shri Radha Madhav, Srila Prabhupada early in the morning. 250 Mahabhiks were distributed, including 5 sets of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and 1 set of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hari Bol! So in that way, we give report to the Lord. And we give report to our spiritual authorities. How many books we have distributed, what we have done all through the day, how many people we have met, how many people got engaged in the service of Krishna in that way. So similarly, at the end of the life, we should also have something to give a report to Srila Prabhupada. That, my dear Srila Prabhupada, in this life, you gave me the opportunity and I have done this. This much books I have distributed, this much devotees I have made, this much preaching I have done, this much prasad has been fed. In that way, we should have a report to offer it to Srila Prabhupada that we have done in his mission. So then Uddhava says like this, look at this person. He killed Kamsa and gave the throne to Ugrasena. And then he says, in the form of Lord Ramachandra, he killed Vali and gave the throne to whom? Sugriva. Going ahead further, he killed Ravana and gave the throne to whom? Vibhishan. He made him the king. And in the form of Lord Narasimha, he killed Hiranyakashipu and gave the kingdom to Prahlad Maharaj. And similarly, Lord Krishna killed Jarasandha and gave the throne to his son named Sahadeva. So in that way, Krishna never wants to control, although he is the proprietor of everything, but he wants to give the credit to his devotee. Just like he says, Nimitta Matram Bhava Savyasachi, that he says to Arjuna, you just fight and take the credit. Everything has already been done. So this, like Uddhava says in a great ecstasy to Vidur Maharaj. And His Grace Radhesham Prabhuji was mentioning on the same topic. So he was saying that everybody has a cloud around their head, which is full of emotion, past traumas and everything. And if you take a name of some person like Mr. Aditya or Mrs. Rohini, so then immediately all the past trauma, all the emotions comes out. अरे इसने मेरे साथ ऐसे किया, इसने मेरे को ऐसे बोला, इसने ऐसा politics किया. All the past trauma comes out from that cloud which is there around our head. Similarly, Uddhava had a cloud around his head. And when Vidur Maharaj asked about Krishna, similarly all the emotions, all the leelas came out. So he was highly Krishna conscious. And our stage is not on that level, but we can learn from Uddhava Maharaj to have a cloud which is filled with Krishna and not the sorrows or griefs which is there in our life. So His Holiness Bhakti-Vikas Swami Maharaj was explaining this verse very beautifully. And then he said, sometimes, just like in this verse, tears coming from the eyes, and then he fainted, and then he came back again to the consciousness. Sometimes people imitate such things. So then Bhakti-Vikas Swami Maharaj was saying, then these people should be beaten into 22 marketplaces, just like Haridas Thakur was beaten, and then let's see how the ecstasy remains or it goes away. So if it's imitation, it goes away, and if it's true, then like Haridas Thakur, we should smilingly take all the pains and suffering which other peoples give and remember Krishna in that way. So this is what is there. So Uddhava was a great devotee. So how great devotee? So in the 10th canto, 46th verse, 46th chapter, first verse, it is mentioned, Vrishninam Pravaro Mantri, that he is the advisor, he is the mantri of the Vrishnis. Pravaro, among all the mantris, he is the topmost. Krishnasya Daitaha Sakha, he is the closest associate. He is the Sakha, very dear friend of Lord Krishna. Shishyo Brihaspati Sakshat, he is the direct disciple of Brihaspati. And Uddhavo Buddhi Satmaha, that he is supremely intelligent and always absorbed in Lord Krishna's pastime. So Uddhava's name is there in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and he is so much absorbed. So someone asked Srila Prabhupada that, my dear Srila Prabhupada, what is the best thing that we can do to please you? सबसे अच्छा सेवा क्या कर सकते हैं हम आपके लिए? Then Srila Prabhupada looked at the devotees and he said, if you can learn how to love Krishna, that is the best thing that you can do for me. So now the question arises, how do we love Krishna? How do we develop that stage? So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 3.15, it is mentioned, we can recite, Sakala Jagate More Kare Vidhi Bhakti, Vidhi Bhakti Vraja Bhava Paite Nahi Shakti. So Sakala Jagate, all over the world, everyone is doing Vidhi Bhakti, which is rules and regulations. Okay? So Vidhi Bhakti Vraja Bhava Paite Nahi Shakti. The Vidhi Bhakti does not have the Shakti to give you the Vraja Bhava, which is our ultimate goal, the Krishna Prem, our ultimate goal. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 8.221, so here it is mentioned, we can recite, Raga Nuga Marge Tanre Bhaje Ye Jana, Sei Jana Paye Vraje Vrajendra Nandana. That whoever follows Raga Nuga Marga, Tanre Bhaje Ye Jana, whoever follows this Raga Nuga Marg, Sei Jana Paye Vraje Vrajendra Nandana, he attains that Rajabhumi and he attains Vrajendra Nandana. And if we do not come to this stage, then in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 8.16, it is mentioned, 8.16 Adi. बहु जन्म करे यदि श्रवण कीर्तना, तबु तना पाए कृष्ण पदे प्रेम धना. That bahu janma kare yadi shravana kirtan. We may, if our goal is not Krishna prema, then we will keep taking birth again and again, and we will keep doing shravan and kirtan, and we will never attain the lotus feet of Krishna and attain prema dhana, which is our ultimate goal, our ultimate object. So when we say that I want to go back home, back to Godhead, how serious we are, how much priority do we keep it, how much seriously we take to the service, how much seriously we take to the instruction which Srila Prabhupada has given, instructions by the senior authorities, the devotees give to us, how much seriously we take it in our life. So as long as there is a trace of Vaidhi Bhakti in our bhajan, then Goloka Vrindavan is far, far away. So of course, first we have to be perfect in Vaidhi Bhakti, and with that we are going to go to the Raga Nuga Bhakti. So as at the end of the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions about in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami, the chief disciple of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these transcendental symptoms are displayed by pure devotees like Uddhava are systematically described. We have written summary study to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu entitled The Nectar of Devotion. And Prabhupada writes, one may consult this book for more detailed information on the science of devotional service. So, in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sri Rupa Goswami mentions 6 characteristics of Bhakti, which is Kleshagni, Subhada, Moksha, Laghuta, Krita, Sudurlabha, Sandrananda, Visheshatma, Shri Krishna Akarshani Chasa. That Bhakti, the 6 characteristics of Bhakti, one characteristic is Shri Krishna Akarshani, that it attracts Lord Krishna. So first it is Kleshagni, its ability to destroy the suffering, and then Subhada, to bestow auspiciousness, Moksha, liberation, and Sudurlabha, very rare to attain. And then Sandrananda Visheshatma, that it is like condensed, concentrated manifestation of bliss. And then finally, Shri Krishna Akarshani. So Srila Rupa Goswami points out this 4th one, which is Sudurlabha. Like Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatiti Siddhe. Among all the thousands of the people, one may attain perfection in that way. So to attain Krishna is very rare and very difficult. So explain, so according to many great scholars, they say that Srila Rupa Goswami is actually the first one to point out the reason that why is it difficult for us to attain pure devotional service? Why is it there that we are stuck over here? So then Srila Rupa Goswami pinpoints the reason why it is difficult. So he gives 2 reasons. The first reason is that our attitude is not favorable. Our attitude is that we are not interested attaining Krishna Prema. The priority is not aligned properly. We have different priorities. So nectar of instruction, in the introduction only, the second line says, the progress of a devotee depends upon the attitude of the followers. So our attitude is not favorable, that we favorable for receiving Krishna Prema. And the second reason Srila Rupa Goswami mentions is that Krishna is also not interested to give his Krishna Prema Bhakti to the person who is not so interested. So there is a Praman in the 5th canto, 6th chapter, 18 verse, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So here it is mentioned, Rajan Patir Guru Ralam Bhavatam Yadunam Devam Priya Kula Pati Kvacha Kinkarovaha Astva Enam Ango Bhagavan Bhajatam Mukundo Muktim Dadati Karhi Chitsmana Bhakti Yogam. That Lord Krishna became the servant. He became the messenger. And then he is driving the chariot of Arjuna, just like a servant does. Okay, in the translation it is mentioned. To say nothing of this, he sometimes serves your family as a messenger or a servant. This means he worked just as an ordinary servant do, एक नौकर के जैसे. And then last he mentioned, Muktim dadati karhichit, that Krishna will give you muktim very easily, smana bhakti yogam, but he will not give you very easily the direct service to him, the bhakti in that way. So if, what is the reason Krishna is not interested to give his love? Because if he gives the love, so then he has to become servant. He has to become just like, become a servant of his devotees. Just like he became the Shanti Doot messenger and the chariot driver, and then getting chastised from Yashoda Maiya, and then getting defeated from the Sakhas. So it's like accepting defeat from the devotees in that way. Such is the great thing. So why would he give such thing very easily? So in that way, Krishna can give us anything what we want. If our priority is not aligned, he will give us name, fame, family, wife, children, post, positions, and lot other things also. Good job, good business, good profit, nice bungalow, nice car, everything what we want. But he will not give Krishna bhakti in that way. Because it's Shri Krishna Akarshani. It attracts Lord Krishna. If we want to attract a poor, we can show him the wealth, he'll be attracted. If we want to attract an illiterate, show off him his knowledge, show off your knowledge, he'll be attracted. But we cannot attract Krishna by our skills, our abilities, our wealth, our beauty, our knowledge, whatever we have. We can only attract Krishna by bhakti. That's why it is Krishna Akarshani. So those who are not serious, Krishna doesn't reveal in that way. So now how do we get to this stage? Just like Uddhava is at such a stage, we also we aspire to go on that stage. So how do we change? So Srila Rupa Goswami says that we can attain that by changing our attitude for receiving the mercy of Krishna. Once our attitude is changed, once our desires, our priorities are aligned, then we can get the Krishna Prem. Just like after the reciting 10 offenses, the last one we recite, it is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, which is? So Krishna Prem is our desired success. We want Krishna, but we don't want to get into the details. And the love is always found in details. And Srila Prabhupada has written so much in detail about the 10th canto Krishna book. So much so that he wrote before completing the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also. So much love Srila Prabhupada had. So now how devotees will attain Krishna? So this is a challenge. Okay, Srila Rupa Goswami points out two reasons. Why is it difficult? And then our attitude is not favorable and Krishna is also not interested to give. So then Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a very perfect answer. In a single verse he says, Satam kripa mahat seva shraddha guru padashraya bhajaneshu spriha bhaktir anartha pangamas tatha nishtha ruchir tatha asakti ruchi prematha darshana harer madhurya bhava iti artha shush chaturdashe. So Satam kripa, that one must receive the mercy of a spiritual master who is above Vaidhi Bhakti, who is Raganuga, who is not like into the category of just following the rules and regulation and struggling, but he must be elevated. That Guru, that we have to find out that, and we have to serve him. And we have His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and many of his disciples who have served in the mission. So then we have to find it. It's not like optional. It's the necessity that we must have the mercy of such great devotees who are above, who are totally in ecstasy. Just like His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhuji, when we go to Vrindavan, so much of ecstasy he explains the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So such we have to find out devotees and serve them. Mahat Seva, and then one must engage in the service of that great devotee. Then Shraddha, the development of faith happens. Fourth is Guru Padashraya, after which we attain the shelter at the bona fide spiritual master. We get the initiation and we get the mantra and then we chant it. Then Bhajaneshu Spriha, then we advancement in Bhajan Kirtan. Bhaktir, after which one experience sincere hankering for devotional service. Right now, my hankering is for money, post, position, many other things. But we have to come to the stage of hankering for serving Lord Krishna. Anartha, then all the anarthas, anartha nivritti happens. All the desires are been removed. Then 8 comes nishtha. This leads to awakening, the stage of nishtha, steady devotional service, that we are fixed up. We are not like, hawa aaya aur hum ud gaye ek kagaz ki tarah. We are fixed up. And then ruchi, followed by ruchi, genuine taste in the service, chanting, hearing, following the instructions of the Lord. Then asakti, attachment to the Lord, how much attached we are to the Lord. And then intimacy, rati, intimacy to the Lord. And then prema, then develops prema fully blossomed for the Lord. And then atha darshanam, one can have the darshan of Krishna, direct perception of the Lord. So, few months back I was in Juhu temple. So His Grace Ramru Prabhuji was giving lecture, and then he was saying what is the topmost yoga. So devotees were saying, bhakti yoga, this, that, in that way. So then Ramru Prabhu laughed and he said, meeting Krishna face to face and shaking hand with Krishna, that is the topmost yoga. So in that way, having darshan of Krishna face to face, and then Harer Madhurya Anubhava, and then we experience the Madhurya, comprehensive sweetness of the love. So these are the 14 stages of advancement in true love. So we have to visualize climbing this ladder from whatever stage we are, whatever we are struggling, we should make a ladder, and then we should go ahead and make a nice plan, just like we have a plan for what time to eat, what time to sleep. Similarly, we should have a plan how we can serve the Lord, how we can please the Vaishnavas, and how we can go from the anartha nivritti stage to attain the pure love of God. And then again, Srila Rupa Goswami gives a perfect plan for this, which is given into 6 steps. The 3rd verse of Nectar of Instruction, which is Utsaha Nishchaya Dharya Tat Karma Pravartanat Sangatyago Sato Vrite Shadbir Bhaktir Prasiddhyati. Being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to the regulative principles, abandoning the association of non-devotees, and following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. So again, Srila Rupa Goswami points out that Sato Vritte is most important. Being with the sadhus, we have to act like sadhus. And again, the definition of sadhu is again mentioned into the 5th verse, the last line of the nectar of instruction, which is given, that who is a sadhu? Sadhu is someone who is nindadi shunya ridam ipsita sanga labdhye. A sadhu is someone who is above criticizing. Ninda nahi karte hain koi sadhu. A great sadhu will not do ninda, criticizing others. Sometimes I relish criticism of other devotees in that way. So whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others, that person is a sadhu. And guess what? We have to find that devotee in our circle also, take his association and go beyond all this level. So about the criticism, there is a very nice story which His Holiness Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Swami Maharaj narrated. So about criticism, we'll take it very lightly, criticism, ऐसे ही criticize कर देते हैं. So Maharaj said, once what happened, there was a king and he arranged a grand feast, Chappan Bhoga, Dwadashi feast for all the villagers who were there. He specifically invited all the Brahmanas to come over there because pleasing Brahmana is equivalent of pleasing Lord Krishna in that way. So the Brahmanas were happy, the villagers, the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, everyone were happy. And at that time, because it was Ekadashi and Dwadashi had came, the eagle was also fasting. And then he was looking for to break his fast. And then he found out some snakes, which is like noodles for the eagle. So then he took up a needle and when the eagle wants to take it, he will first punch it and then kill it. And then when he kills, so the flesh comes out, the blood comes out. So then he is taking the feast for his family. And while flying, what happens? A part of the flesh of the snake falls to that bhoga, falls to that in the kitchen department in that way. So, and then later on what happens? The devotees are serving prasad, everyone is coming with the pattal and everything is happening over there. And then at that time, the person served the prasad on the topping. The toppings were the flesh of a part of the snake in that way. So then the sadhu became very upset. What kind of insult is this? Have you called us for this thing? To insult? To invite the brahmanas and then serve them the flesh of an animal? And then the king became very afraid. What has happened? And then they were thinking, whose fault is this? किसका गलती है ये? क्या ये राजा का गलती है जिसने अच्छे से ध्यान नहीं दिया? कि क्या ये कुक्स का गलती है जिन्होंने ध्यान नहीं दिया? क्या ये सर्वेंट्स का गलती है जो सर्व कर रहे थे देखा नहीं? किसका गलती है ये? So because he is a great devotee of Lord Krishna. So Yamraj and along with his servants, Yamdut, he personally appears over there. And because he is Yamraj, he knows past, present, future. So then he goes to the past and then he sees that there was an eagle who was taking this dead snake and the flesh of that snake fell into the pot. And thus it is. Now Yamraj is also confused. अब किसको पाप लगेगा? पाप तो लगना चाहिए, ये तो ब्राह्मण को अपराध हो गया है और ऊपर से शुभ तिथि पे, द्वादशी के दिन पे, तो क्या ये राजा को लगेगा? क्या ये सर्वेंट्स को लगेगा? क्या ये कुक्स को लगेगा? क्या ये ईगल को लगेगा? कि क्या ये सांप को लगेगा? किसको लगेगा? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? whom should get the sin? यमराज? किसको? थैंक यू प्रभु जी. अच्छा, सो नहीं, उसने क्रिटिसाइज नहीं किया, उसने तो दर्शाया कि ये हुआ है मेरे साथ. सो देन एवरीवन इज डिस्कसिंग किसको पाप लगना चाहिए, अपराध तो हो गया. सो देन एट द बैक देयर वर सम पीपल हु वर क्रिटिसाइजिंग द ब्राह्मणा should get the pap, the king should get the pap, the servants, the snake, the eagle. And then Yamraj nodded his head to the Yamadutas. These people should get the sin. So that's why when we criticize, we get the part of that sin. So that's why we have to be very careful in our bhajan, and we have to associate with devotees who are above criticism. For example, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, when he was not being treated well in ISKCON late when Prabhupada had departed. So at that time he accepted everything. Even a devotee had slapped Maharaj. Maharaj accepted it and went away. And that's how he did not criticize over there. So that's how one who moves away from all these difficulties, just like Vidur Maharaj also got the insulted, he did not criticize. He did not fought against. But he accepted it and went ahead. So then we will be free from such papa, we are free from such anarthas. And in the purport again, Prabhupada mentions that the Mahabhava stage, which is generally not possible for the living entities, all these were manifested by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the personification of love of Godhead. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the ecstasies that we see in the great devotees is coming from the Lord himself and the Mahabhava. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there in Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is crying for Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath is also in the crying mood to have a darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when the Snan Yatra, Anavasar happens, so for the 15 days the altar closes and the Lord is shifted to another room and being given the medicines and everything. So at that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feels the separation that for 15 days I will not get the darshan of Lord Krishna. So Prabhupada explains that this is as same as when Krishna was performing his Rasa Leela in Govardhan. So when Krishna left the Rasa Leela, all the gopis started feeling separation. So this is the same, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when 15 days Snan Yatra happens, so it is like same, that Krishna has left from the altar, Krishna has left, Jagannath has left from the Rasa Leela, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the gopis are feeling the separation in that way. So when the Ras Leela is happening in Govardhan, very beautiful atmosphere is there. So then Krishna goes away little ahead, few kilometers away from the Govardhan. And then he is sitting below a tree. And then the gopis come. And then Krishna actually transforms into Chaturbhuja. He takes the form of Lord Narayan. And then Lord Narayan, he is standing over there with Shankha, Chakra, Padma, Gada. And all the gopis come and they take the darshan. Oh, here's the Lord Vishnu. Let's pay respectful obeisances to him. And then they paid the obeisances, and then they asked, have you seen our Shyam Sundar? So here is the Lord, the Supreme Lord standing, and they are not, so much taking care of him, but asking about Shyam Sundar. So there's in so much of love of Krishna. And then what did Narayan do? He is standing in the Chaturbhuja form. So with his one hand he directed, this way your Shyam Sundar has gone. And now all the gopis go over there searching Krishna. After some time, Srimati Radharani comes. She also takes the darshan of Lord Narayan. She pays obeisances, and then very ecstatically, in a deep separation, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a deep separation, he is taking the darshan of Lord Jagannath. In a deep separation, she is asking Lord Narayan, have you seen my Shyam Sundar, my beloved, the beat of my heart? Have you seen him? And then looking at this, Lord Narayan, he is also like, touched by the devotion of Radharani. And when he raises his hand, pointing the direction, the two hands of Narayan melts. And then he comes back again into the Dvija Bhuja, which is like two-handed form, Shyam Sundar. So it is said that the separation of Lord Jagannath and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the same. And the gopi is going, and Srimati Radharani going to Lord Narayan in the forest, is that the of Alarnath temple, which is there in Jagannath Puri. So that's why over there, Chaturbhuja form, Lord Narayan is there. That is not Lord Narayan, that is Krishna himself. He is just expanded. Just like in Sri Rangam, when we had gone 2 years back with bus party. So over there, Chaturbhuja form is that, but that is again Lord Shri Krishna himself. So Lord's two hands melted by looking at the devotion of Srimati Radharani. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visits Alarnath. He many a times threatens the devotees over there. Once what happened, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he requested Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to have an interview with King Prataparudra. So he threatened, if you ask me once again, then I am going to leave Puri and go to Alarnath. Because that is the place where he feels very touched. For the Chota Haridas Thakur's case also, to be lenient upon him, to be merciful, then again Mahaprabhu warned him that if you request me again, then I am going to leave Puri and go to Alarnath. So Alarnath is a place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feels the deepest loving separation from Lord Jagannath, just like gopis feel the separation, Srimati Radharani feels the separation when Krishna had left the Rasa Leela. And over there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offers Dandavat Pranam, and he is so much into ecstasy that even the stone melts. So that's how the Mahabhava is only possible in the Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the personification of love of Godhead. So in this way, we can learn from Vidura to be detached and Uddhava to be absorbed, and following the Acharyas, Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Chakravarti Thakurpad, in that way we have to progress and from follow Vedic Bhakti properly, going to the Raganuga, and finally attain the desired success, which is Krishna Prem. So thank you all very much for patiently hearing me out, and apologies for any inconveniences, any mistake that I commit. Any questions, comments, suggestion, any corrections? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I have a question. I heard that once devotees asked Srila Prabhupada that what makes you most happy, like that they asked. So Prabhupada said that learn to love Krishna, that will make me most happy. But we also hear that Prabhupada once said that distribute my books and I will be pleased. If you want to please me, distribute my books. So in these statements, how we take those two statements?
So we can develop the love by distributing as many books as possible. Marathon is coming, we can take a target of distributing Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Krishna book, and before going we can read, and then we will eventually develop. Everything is been given by Srila Prabhupada. So as I said, all this in the lecture, like what Rupa Goswami mentions, following such things we can develop the love. Of course, Prabhupada mentions all these things, everything what we do will please Srila Prabhupada. whatever is there, it is ultimately to attain the love of Godhead. So in that way, any service we do, we have to do. And distributing books, because this is like direct stories of Lord Krishna. This is like giving Krishna to someone. Someone said, the biggest charity in this world one can do is not by opening hospitals or schools or giving something in free. It is by giving Krishna to that person. So giving Krishna is the biggest charity in that way. By giving Krishna, we will get Krishna. His Grace Shyam Sundar Prabhu, he explains, if you read the books, then you will get the mercy, you will attain the love of God. But if you preach, and if you preach, then you will get two things at a state. That you will connect others also, and in that way, you will also develop the faith in the Lord. So that's why preaching is most important.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for this clear answer. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Some more questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Wonderful class. Prabhuji, you said that Lord accepts the defeat and he becomes servant of the devotee. So, of course, servant in the spiritual world is, we cannot think the way we think here, what is servant. But why should I do such bhakti which makes Lord to be my servant?
No, that is not the objective, to make the Lord our servant. For example, once Prabhupada was giving a lecture, and then this was in foreign country, and a person asked the question, Swamiji, you are talking about God, I want to become God. And then Prabhupada replied, if you follow this Krishna consciousness, what to speak of God, you will become the father of God. You will become the father of God, which is way more higher. Just like Nanda Maharaj, just like Dasharath Maharaj, they become the father of God. So this is the opportunity. It's not like I want to make the Lord servant. It's so much difficult to become the servant of the Lord for us. So to follow the instructions of the senior. So that is not the goal, Krishna Prem, and that is like exchange between the devotees. Just like when he used to play with the sakhas, so sometimes some sakhas used to take Krishna and bang him on the ground. So that is not, that is what Krishna wants to relish. That is like topmost rasa which is there. So it's little difficult, very difficult actually for us to understand. By following these things, we can come up to that stage and then please the Lord. And then the Lord, whatever the Lord is there, then he will reciprocate accordingly. Some corrections, Prabhuji, some. You can give corrections, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. I am asking a question which I have my realization, but I would like to see how you look at it also, just to see. So you mentioned in the class that we should not associate with people who criticize. So, but if you see Prabhupada's life, I had a few quotes. One rascal scientist says something, another rascal scientist challenges him. And the third rascal scientist defeats the both of them. Another thing, he says, he may have a big degree, PhD, but if he does not know God, he is a rascal with his big clothes. I call them rascals not to insult them, but to shake them, wake them up. Don't remain a rascal. So now, to associate with a person who doesn't criticize and read Prabhupada books where he is taking people who are not devotees or not properly presenting the philosophy. Prabhupada is taking right, left and center. And many of us also follow that. So how do we look at that criticism? And how do we take association of those devotees who are preaching like this?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I'll just try to share what I know. So in the beginning, it's very important to get corrected. If we don't get corrected, which I heard from you only, Prabhuji, we get cheated. So correction is very important. Just like when we go in school, we learn 1 + 1 = 2. If we write 4, then immediately a slaps come from the mother or teacher. So in the beginning process, we should get the corrections from the advanced devotees. So, and Prabhupada is a Nitya Siddha, so he has a full right to correct. Lord Krishna also corrects, just like who was the person who was criticizing Lord Krishna 100 times? Shishupal. So Shishupal, Krishna was merciful, but 100 times the limit he crossed, he was been smashed away. So similarly, we are Nitya Baddha, so we need to be corrected. And the authority has been given to the Nitya Siddhas, just like Swami Srila Prabhupada. So once in the lecture which I heard, that a devotee was sharing, that Prabhupada, you called some people rascals in that way. So Prabhupada said, I can call them, but you should not. So Prabhupada mentioned like that. So for Nitya Baddhas, conditioned souls like me, we should be corrected, we should be chastised. And then whatever is there, we have a suggestion box up in the ashram, we can put into that. Sridhar Swami Maharaj, Narottam Prabhu had shared this. Sridhar Maharaj explained, be happy, be jolly in the service. Whatever problem you see, write down on the paper, give it to your authority, put it in the suggestion box, and then be detached. Just like Vidur Maharaj was detached. He also saw it, but then that was not a proper opportunity to correct Dhritarashtra, who was totally attached. So then after some time he came and gave a try, and then Dhritarashtra was being corrected properly, convinced by Vidur Maharaj, and then he also left to the Tirtha Yatra and started traveling Sankirtan party and went to Haridwar in that way. So in the beginning, yes, people should be corrected so that they can go on a proper path, or if not corrected, then they will be cheated. There are many sadhus who mislead. I had watched a video, people were distributing Bhagavad Gita, one person caught him, and then he says, open the book. When he opened the book, all the different religion, Bibles and everything was given. So all this cheating is happening. So then be free from all these things. And of course, if we are in the positions, so then we can correct. And if not, then we have to tell to the devotee who is the authority of that person. And in that way, the superior authorities, management and everyone is there. And finally, Lord Krishna is there to see and check everything. So in this way, I can share this thing, Prabhuji. I hope something I can. Thank you, Prabhuji. Last question.
Prabhuji, you say that Krishna is giving love to those who want to love. So in that, we see that in the different planets spiritual world, Vaikunt Lok and Golokas, वैकुंठ लोक में जो डिवोटिस रहते हैं वो देखा जाए तो भगवान की जो सेवा करते हैं इन द दास्य भाव में, और गोलोक वृंदावन में देयर इज़ अ फ्री टू लव वट एवर ही डिज़ायर, जस्ट लाइक फोर डिविजन ऑफ रसास दे कैन लव इन ईच डिज़ायर. So in Vaikunt Loka, they are serving only in the one mode, in the servant and the master. So soul has a own nature, how to love Krishna. He is a naturally he fixed in that devotional service. So how to decide that he is if by chance going to Vaikunt, if he desire to serve Krishna, Narayan in the different rasas, so he can possible in their place, or if he went to the Golok platform, so that he love in freedom love to the Krishna.
So I heard this, that for the Vaidhi Bhakti, when a person follows, the qualification is to follow the rules and regulation. But when one advances, goes to the Raganuga Bhakti, the first thing which is there, which is lobha, greed, to hear the pastimes of Krishna. And that is the 10th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So when you read, जब कोई पढ़ता है 10th canto Krishna book, so whatever feels the best, कि अगर उसको ये pastime अच्छा लग गया, then he will keep hearing more. If he likes the pastime of Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, different devotees are there. So whatever he feels the taste, that is increasing. So then he has to keep hearing that. And it is said कि eventually, मतलब क्या कहते हैं, our constitutional position has been revealed in that way. So just like some devotees like having paneer sabzi with chole bhature, some devotees like eating sambar rice, Some devotees like having simple fruits. So it's like what you like. So by reading the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10th canto, what is our favorite pastime, in that way they attain their eternal constitutional position. Okay, thank you so much. Seeking all the blessings of the Vaishnavas so I can serve nicely to all of you. Grantraj. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, the Vaishnava philosophy, I have heard many lectures from Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj. He said that Vaishnava philosophy is very deep and it was not available in a very understandable language. And even if it is tried to explain, the general masses are not even qualified to understand the Vaishnava philosophy in a very simple language also. It is only by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada the deep Vaishnava Tattva was made available to the material world. And that is why, though Srila Prabhupada presented so many other aspects of deeper spiritual understanding, like the mood in Vaikuntha, the mood in Goloka, and many other lokas, if you read third canto, if you read the third canto, you will also come to know in different lokas what people are doing. The data is vast. That's why it is said everything is available in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. But Srila Prabhupada emphasized a lot that what is meant for us, initially sadhakas, it is very important for us to perform bhakti. And Prabhupada translates bhakti what?
Devotional service.
So practical devotional service. That is why Prabhupada used to say, go out on book distribution. Because we are in the material world and suffering because of our false ego. Sometimes jnana trip comes. Jnana trip means you are actually feeling that you are understanding what's happening in Vaikuntha and Goloka. That's why Prabhupada makes a quote also. Until you are free of sex desire, you cannot attain bhakti. Then when we feel something, Goloka, we are understanding. So we should always hear from the superiors. When our mind speculates, we should question, are we free of sex desire? Then we will get an alarm out to our mind also. And bhakti, practical devotional service. And Prabhupada really emphasized book distribution. Because when we go out on book distribution, the most amazing thing is that we learn to maintain enthusiasm. Nectar of devotion, that verse, second verse, Utsaha.
Nishad.
Isn't it? Utsaha means? Enthusiasm. Now, enthusiasm is not there, other things will not follow. To keep enthusiasm, book distribution is the best way. Why, You are a devotee here, everyone is paying obeisances to you. When you go on the road, people reject you. And you have to be enthusiastic to sell the next book within 3 seconds. Right or not? Prabhupada wanted, when sadhakas face these challenges and hear the deeper subject of spiritual life from superiors and ask them, understand from them, and parallelly perform practical devotional service, they will develop the maturity to approach these deep subjects. Understand? They will develop the maturity to approach this subject. Got it? So that's one way to look at it. Another point was regarding criticism. See, it's very important as sadhakas, we have to know to define criticism out of envy and conditioning, out of unfulfilled desires, or out of compassion and out of duty and service. Srila Prabhupada's criticism was completely out of compassion and duty. Duty was to show his disciples what the truth is. And compassion was for the people Prabhupada would criticize, also would get mercy. That was how Srila Prabhupada was. That is the difference he made in the world. Because if you see many scholars and scientists who are actually scientists, they have read Srila Prabhupada books and appreciate it. Those are having proper mood, proper intentions, those who are seekers, great thinkers, they have actually appreciated. Like Srila Prabhupada says that, look at Gandhi. He is holding the Bhagavad Gita and talking about non-violence. And Krishna in the Gita is telling, kill for dharma. Isn't it? Krishna is telling in the Gita, kill for dharma. So that's how Srila Prabhupada was. His criticism was always to awaken the conditioned soul about the ignorance. So when generally we see criticism, someone who's authority, he's protected when he criticizes because he's been duty. He has the duty to fault find. Srila Prabhupada says the duty of authority or guru is very dangerous. Why?
To find faults.
24/7 he has to do what you are not doing, search what you are not doing, and tell you what you should do. Correct? So that when you see something like that, you have to understand, some people are duty bound to do certain. Some people are conditioned, then you have to just inform the superiors. Some people are out of envy, you should understand, we need to help him. We need to help him by speaking something philosophical, put his mind on a block. Like that. That's how Srila Prabhupada's teachings are. Prabhupada would sometimes did not get into answering a question, but he would just put a person into some comment of his that it will make him think and clarify the whole thing. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Nice class.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the deep definition of criticism. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.